Okay, so we've heard from 8 amazing young people there, and we're now getting to our final 4 individual speeches. So first up from the last 4, we're going to hear from Manas. He is absolutely passionate about climate change, and he's going to talk a little bit about how we can all work together to save the pale blue dot.
Captain Picard here. Oh, should I start on that? Yeah, Captain Picard here. Things are only impossible until they are not. Let us now transport natural resources at maximum warp speed. Engage. Now, I'm no impressionist. With a show of hands, are there any Star Trek fans in the crowd? Yes, that's great. Star Trek is a great series. Now, the United Nations estimates that we will need 1.5 planet Earth to sustain our ways of living. But by 2050, this figure will double to 3 planet Earth, which we will need to sustain our ways of living. Now this is really cool. We can now transport natural resources at maximum warp speed. Coal, minerals and gold, all at maximum warp speed. This is the solution to our problem, eh? Well, unfortunately, this is only possible in science fiction. The reality is what you see here. What you see is a plain, boring, rather featureless picture. But what this really is a picture of planet Earth taken from the edge of our solar system by the Voyager 1 spacecraft. If you can see anything at all, this one tiny pixel is the only signs of life we know of right now. NASA called this picture the pale blue dot, and that will be the topic for my speech today. In this speech, I'm first going to state the bare brutal facts of what we do that destroys our planet Earth. Secondly, I'm going to talk about some of our most used natural resources. You'll be surprised to find out how little of those precious resources we have left. Thirdly, and lastly, we're going to tackle the broad issue of climate change with a 3-pronged attack. The real questions in this speech I'm asking today are what am I saving and who am I saving it from? Our pale blue dot has some finite resources that when they are left alone, they can regenerate. We have to save and protect these resources. The big issue is that our planet has more demand for those resources than what we can regenerate. We have to save and protect these resources. Our top 3 most consumed natural resources are water, energy, and phosphorus. By 2025, 50 countries will face absolute water scarcity, impacting 1.8 billion people. Only 2.5% of all water in the world is fresh water, but less than 1% of that is accessible. Coal and fossil fuel consumption is increasing, and developing countries' appetite for that energy is growing. There's only an estimated 47 years of coal and fossil fuels left. Phosphorus, if you didn't know, is essential for all living beings, humans, animals and plants. We cannot live without it. Most phosphorus comes from the phosphate rock. There's only an estimated 100 years of phosphorus left. Now, this way of living is not sustainable, and we are not leaving for our generations to come. Think of the legacy our generation will leave for hundreds and thousands of years to come. Now, what can we do? I'm not going to stand here and say, how dare you, you've dreams. Primarily because I would like to be part of the solution and to inspire change, not just be a problem. I suggest we tackle this broad issue with a 3-pronged attack. Firstly, this is what our politicians and policymakers can do. There have already been some great initiatives, such as the recent COP27, where new legislations were made, but I firmly believe that this did not go far enough. There's no denying that G7 and other developed nations have benefited from Earth's natural resources, but the big problem is that pollution and carbon emissions have no national boundaries, meaning we must take the moral high ground in accepting leadership and responsibility for our planet. Many developing countries may ask the question, what's in it for me? And I'd love to, but unfortunately, we don't have a blank check to help every nation. The least we could do is to use our nation's expertise in research and development to problems such as droughts, famines, sanitation and hygiene, and we have to give those solutions at an affordable cost for developing countries. Secondly, what our businesses, enterprises and scientists can do. Now, millions of years ago, our ancestors climbed down the trees and became the dominant species, not because they were great runners or great swimmers, bearing in mind they couldn't fly, but they learned how to use those tools to their advantage. Building the technological solution is in our genome. For example, cutting-edge technology by a company called Remilk uses microbial fermentation to produce milk proteins without harming a single cow. No lactose, no cholesterol, and just uses a fraction of the 911 litres of water just need to make a litre of cow milk. The Prince of Wales is also promoting a financial grant. He calls it the Earthshot Prize, to Earth's biggest environmental problems. Please engage in this or anything similar. Finally, this is what we can do at our personal level. And we can all start with a very easy solution. savewater.savemoney.co.uk. You get free water-saving goods straight to your door, like shower heads, swell gel, which is water-saving granules, a tap insert, a 4-minute timer, and some pipe insulation. Now, along with this, we also have to have conversations in our kitchens, living rooms, to understand and gain awareness on our lifestyle, energy usage, fossil fuel consumption, and food usage, seeing where that food comes from, the packaging it's in. For example, is it biodegradable? Is it not? We can also participate, engage and promote in school activities, such as Earth Day, which falls on April 22nd this year. Now, I strongly believe that what we do at our personal level, businesses, leaders and researchers will take notice and see the potential. And naturally, politicians and policymakers will start supporting us. For my Star Trek fans, and from Captain Picard, there's a way out of every box, a solution to every problem. It is just a matter of finding it. Thank you all for listening, and let's save the pale blue dot together.